Are we ready? Because there's surprises from the jump. But I hope we're ready. I hope we're having fun. I hope we're having a good day. Because we are back. We are live on Twitch. For the first time since Twitchcon. I'm sure you guys have missed me, and I'm sure you've already noticed some of the stuff that is different about me. If you're going to point out I don't have my glasses, we'll get there. If you're going to point out the hair, that happened too. But we are back. It's good to be back. It's good to be home. I'm glad I made it home. Either way, do we want to jump right in, or do we want to ramble a little bit, or do you guys want to watch me shake up some G-subs? Don't get too... Oh, I left the cup upstairs. I can go grab it eventually if I want to. Either way. But we are here. But I figured we were going to start at the very beginning of the story, before TwitchCon. Specifically, the week leading up. Well, not the full week, but the couple days of that week leading up to me leaving, as I'm getting distracted by a scab that's like half fallen off. Which, again, I'll get to that as well. Don't worry. Trying to make sure this thing isn't bleeding and it's just falling off because I showered like 20 minutes ago. But either way, are we excited to get into this story? Because this story starts the Monday of last week, just over a week ago. I'm sitting there at work. I was working in a different location than I normally work at because I needed to fill in for someone else who was out of town. So I was at this other location for the restaurant I work in. And right next door was a Great Clips. And I know I've kind of mentioned it here and there that I was, only growing out the hair for the sake of growing out the hair, and I was curious what I'd look like with long hair. And I can comfortably say after 3.5 years, I know what I look like with long hair. There's plenty of photo and video evidence of me with long hair. So I kind of hit a point where I was like, I've been kind of done with it since like the beginning of summer. It's now fall. Do I really want to just keep stretching this along for the sake of stretching it along? And I decided no. So I literally clocked out of work, walked right next door to where the Great Clips was, walked in and said, I want a haircut, and proceeded to chop my hair. So we're back to short hair at this point. One, you can very clearly see where I'm balding, but, that's fun. And two, I don't think my hair's ever been this short. Well, okay, I started streaming before I started growing the hair out, so, like, there is evidence of me with short hair. But for the most part, since I was an affiliate at least, I have not had short hair. So, right around, I became an affiliate in March. The last haircut I got before I started growing it out was in June. So there was a very short period of me being an affiliate with short hair, and then I started growing it out, and I just finally cut it again. But yeah, cut the hair. The other thing is, we got cards back from grading at PSA. It was my first PSA submission. I know I tweeted about it, and I talked about it a little bit in Discord and everything. I never really mentioned it on stream because I've been so inconsistent lately. I just kind of didn't say anything. Because for the most part, most of my streams, I was just kind of going straight into it. No starting soon, no just chatting at the beginning of stream. But this is a just chatting stream, so obviously we're going to have to show those off. But I sent in 4 different cards. 3 of them are like childhood cards that, well, technically they're not childhood cards. I had to rebuy one of them, but they're childhood cards of mine that I like repicked up. And the other one is a card I bought at PAX, but if we want to get those out and handy, I came prepared. Yeah, so the first one I'm going to show off is the one I think I got robbed on, which I'm also pretty sure if I were to hold it up this way. Oh no, you are going to be able to see in there. But yeah, based on the colors of the case, you might be able to tell what this is. It'd be the Bubble Mew I bought and got fucking cooked. They gave this an 8. So, not 100% sure why, but Yeah, apparently this is an 8. Also, why does the back show so much more clear than the front? I don't know. Either way, the Bubble Mew got an 8, and this is likely going to get cracked and regraded. Because, like, the centering's good. The surface is good. The corners, there's, like, one little spot in one corner, in which case maybe a 9, maybe a 10. But an 8 just seems criminal. So I'm going to take this with me to the card shop the next time I go in, and we'll see what they say. If they agree with me on crack it and regrade it, then I will. Otherwise, I might just crack it and keep it raw. Because technically, this is part of the Sleeping Pokemon set that I've been working on. The next 3. You're going to very quickly catch on to where this is going when I hold up the first one. But we have the Delta Species Charmander, which got a PSA 6, which I can't really argue because I've had this card since I was like 10. And the very next one is the Delta Species Charmeleon, which again, PSA 6, had this card for my childhood. And then the one I bought another copy of technically because I can't find where the other one is, but I swear I have one somewhere, is the Delta Species Charizard, which this got a 5, which again seems low. I feel like it should have gotten like a guaranteed a 6, maybe a 7. Like the corners are good. You can't really tell because it's in a case in a slab, but like the hollow is a little scratched up on the actual Charizard, but like it's not bad. But it just doesn't feel right that this is a 5. The thing is, I graded these with the sake of them being sequential. So if I were to crack the Charizard and try to submit that again for the sake of like doing better, I don't think you're going to be able to read those numbers with this crappy camera. But they're sequential, so it's literally boom, boom, boom in PSA system and everything. So I'm probably just going to keep these because I have no intention of selling these. These are like this was the sake of me personally collecting. I do not want to sell these. So a little bummed about the 5, but whatever, who cares? Yeah, picked those up right before TwitchCon. I knew about the grades like a week beforehand, but whatever. Also in the pre-TwitchCon pickups is a PSA 6 of the Team Aqua's Kyogre. I want to get the matching Groudon. The problem with the matching Groudon is no one's willing to sell it for even remotely close to market, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, we have this now too. Anyone who isn't aware of all of the different cards I have hiding in the background but Pokemon. Yeah, Shawnee, I was showing off the graded cards and the absolute crime of the Bubble Mew being an 8. Like, I literally do not know why it's an 8. Either way, I'm taking this to the card shop when I go later this week. I finally have a license again, so I'll be going over there just to say hi for the sake of it. I also might have to sell some things in order to pay for my new phone, because we'll get to that part of the story too. Yeah, I now have a new phone. I'm going to need to get a new case, new wallet, whole bunch of stuff, but I haven't gotten that far, okay? But yeah. Picked all that stuff up right before TwitchCon, cut my hair. Packed up everything for TwitchCon. The G-Shaker, the G-Subs cup that was right here, did go over to Shawnee. I picked that up at PAX East in Boston for him. Finally got that trade happened. We were joking for months that we were going to forget to bring the stuff that we said we would bring for each other, which there's some stuff in here from Shawnee as well, so either way, where was I? I got completely distracted. But also I hope you're doing well. Enjoy your lurk in the background. I've decided I need some caffeine. But I'll continue to talk while I get this set up. The shaking part, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to talk over, but yeah, got everything like packed up for TwitchCon. I packed everything to vlog the trip, but I decided that because I still have yet to figure out how I like vlogging in a way that it doesn't take away from my experience while I'm there, and also doesn't like feel like it's just me talking after the fact that everything happens, I decided to hold off on bothering to even like attempt to vlog anything. So while I was in the airport, I took like a few pictures, maybe a few like very short videos of me just kind of at the airport, walking around in the airport, but I ultimately decided I just wasn't going to deal with it. So like that stuff does happen. Why am I getting 11 notifications on my watch instantly? Calm down. Anyway. Yeah, so the flight out there wasn't bad at all. I had used credit card rewards points to like upgrade my flight to first class just because I felt like being a baller, and I've been sitting on like 60,000 American Express rewards points with no real intention of spending them, so I figured why not just spend them? Might as well. In hindsight, I kind of wish I didn't do that and I'd just use it for like to cover the cost of a flight, or if I want to do like PAX again, or if I want to like go down to Florida or something this winter or something. Either way, too late now. I already spent them. Just means I got to make more, earn more. Delicious. But because it was a first class flight, that meant free drinks. And free drinks means I had a lot of them. So I arrive in San Diego, decently drunk. I straight up just catch a regular old taxi because I don't want to deal with trying to pay like Uber pricing to drive away from the airport. So I'm like, I'm just going to take the fucking taxi. Whatever, who cares? It ended up costing like $1.50 more to go from the airport to my hotel as it did to go from my hotel to the airport in an Uber. Whatever. It was about the same price. So I'm not going to complain too much. And then I get to the hotel. It's only like 11 or 11:30. Check-in is supposed to be at 4 p.m. But I walk up to the counter because I know that they'll save your or not save. They'll hold on to your luggage until you're like able to actually check into your room. So I just went up to the counter. I'm like, hey, I'm checking in. I know I'm, several hours early. I don't know if the room's going to be, ready, but this is the name on the reservation. Can I at least leave my stuff with you? And they're like, oh yeah, let us check, blah, 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 clack away at their keyboard, and they go, it looks like your room is ready. So we'll just get you checked in. We're going to need a credit card for, whatever the fuck they call it. I was going to say instances, but no, that's wrong. Either way, they're like, we just need a card on file. And I was like, yeah, sure. Here's the card I used to make the reservation. Swipe that bad boy. Ka-ching. And then they hand me the keys. I get up to my room. I start dropping my stuff. I had messaged a couple people who I knew were already in town and was like, yeah, I just got here, just checked into my hotel room. And then Shawnee, New, and Neptune were all together already, and we wanted to go Pokemon card shop hunting and check out a few different card shops. So they messaged me within 20 minutes. And they're like, we're downstairs, come out. We're in we're in a black Hyundai. And I'm like, fucking say no more. Let's go. Head downstairs, jump in the car, meet New for the first time in person, meet Neptune for the first time in person. Shawnee I saw last year at Twitchcon. Either way, got to, see him as well. We jump in, we go bounce around to a couple different places, and I end up spending some money, which I had full intention of doing. So don't act like this is a drunk purchase. This was premeditated, very premeditated. But because I already ripped everything open, best I can do is show you the results. In which case, I bought the Pikachu and Zekrom GX tag team box because it had Evolving Skies and Chilling Rain and 2 Battle Styles packs. But yeah, here's the jumbo card. I had to very carefully layer toilet paper and this card into my laptop in order to get the jumbo card home safely, because this is too big for anything I had. But I got it home. Oop. And now I dropped it, so there goes all that hard work. Either way. Which I don't think I was really planning on, grading this or anything, but I'd still like to keep it in, half decent shape. Yeah, got that. I did not rip everything right away. Originally, the plan was, because I also bought a Destined Rivals booster bundle, that Shawnee and I were going to pack battle on a stream. Rum, welcome in. Congrats on being first. It only took 20 minutes today. Not the shortest, but not the longest. But how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I know I've been kind of MIA from the internet, but it's fine. We're going through story time and buying Pokemon cards before TwitchCon even started. But yeah, there's the actual Pikachu and Zekrom. And then when I was opening the rest of the packs, hot cheese, hot friends, welcome to the party. But yeah, out of Battle Styles, we got a Mimikyu V. It's worth like a whole $3. I don't even think it was that much. But we also got 2 full arts out of Evolving Skies. So like, that's kind of a win. You know? Like, they're not the super valuable ones. I think they're like $5 to $10 each. And if you look carefully, the centering is cooked. Like, it's so heavy. Look at like all my finger side versus my thumb side. And this one's the exact same story. Look at that centering. It's chopped. But who cares? I got a hit out of Evolving Skies. That's a win. Which the Mimikyu is actually pretty well centered. It's in nice shape. Yeah. Can't argue too much. Yeah. I'm likely going to end up sending the promo card to get graded. It's in pretty good shape. Dude, the package back to myself might arrive Monday. Arriving Wednesday or Thursday would have been $450 or $350. Welcome to shipping. But how heavy was the package? Like, that also dictates that as well. But I assume most people who are doing the shipping method were just going to be content with waiting like a week to a week and a half to get their stuff back for the sake of cheap shipping. So I suppose it wasn't too bad. But yeah, no, past that, the Evolving Skies, I got a single not Evolving Skies. The Destined Rivals, I got a single EX card and nothing else. It was, again, I got cooked by Destined Rivals. I did pull 2 sleeping Pokemon for the sleeping Pokemon set. So I updated, if you have access or you have the link to the spreadsheet of all the ones I'm trying to collect, these 2 are now marked off as I have them. But I did pull 2 sleeping Pokemon and a single EX, so I can't call it a complete loss, but I can't exactly call that a win. Considering the fact I've now opened probably 25, 26. Actually, it might be close to 30 at this point. I've opened quite a bit of Destined Rivals. I've pulled 2 full arts for a combined value of $5. Like, it's been bad. But thanks to a special someone who goes by the name of Shawnee G Streams, we did add all of these cards to the sleeping Pokemon set. So went through and was checking out. If I'm reading the slip right, it was 13 pounds, which doesn't feel right, but I don't know. I know you had a half decent amount of stuff, but I don't. 13, maybe. I somehow had to get fucking Catan back to my house. I managed to make that thing fit in my checked bag somehow. But yeah. We got more sleeping Pokemon. I'm up to 29? 28? So I'm getting close to the point that I'm going to have to like actually go and get a binder that's going to be capable of like holding all of them. Because right now they're just sitting in this box, which I need to get all of these into. But in order to get these in there, I got to make sure they're sorted in the correct order. And in order to sort them into the correct order, I'd have to look at the sheet and I'd have to sit there and filter through it. I wasn't going to do it on stream. But we got more sleeping Pokemon. We're getting closer to needing the binder. And then this is everything else I opened. In which case, there's a couple EXs in here, but other than that, it's just bulk. It's a bunch of nothing. The craziest part is the most expensive Destined Rivals card I opened was a reverse holo. Not even the EX I pulled. It was a reverse holo, and it was like 57 cents. But yeah, I lost the Gamba. But in losing the Gamba, we did gain one really cool thing. Thanks to a friend, I now have a signed Cynthia's Ambition in a PSA 10. Which this was kind of known about, but yeah, we got that. But yeah, no, Sean, you're going to end up pulling something really good, and I'm going to think back to the night in my hotel room where I was staring at both Destined Rivals booster bundles, and I'm like, I know my luck. My Destined Rivals booster bundle is going to have jack shit in it. I should just swap the two bundles, and then I'll have better luck. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, no, because I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna get nothing. You're gonna get something, and then I'm gonna be like, damn. Remember how I switched the two? So I decided not to switch the two. Still got nothing. You're gonna get a hit, and I'm gonna regret being a good person. But yeah, this has been in the works for a while. I had Shawnee buy it off eBay, and then I PayPal'd him the amount, and then he had to go and get it signed at the convention that Emily Bauer was at. But we got that now. Banger. We'll set that back away. So yeah, that's all the Pokemon stuff. Yeah, that was all the Pokemon stuff. Now that I'm back home and I'm starting to get access to my money again, which I'll get into, the plan is to do a big PSA submission. I'm talking like 10 to 15 cards. So that's not going to be cheap on my behalf, in which case I might wait till November when my budget resets. But if I submit it at the start of November, I should be able to get it back right around Christmas. And we can have a fun time seeing how cooked I got by PSA. Just in time for the holidays. Also, Shawnee, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but I do think there's something you need to be aware of. Explore. How easily can I search for this? Oh, that easily. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. You can do exactly as you please. But PSA 10s of the Burger Chew are getting cheap. Collector has it at 168. They started at 500 and they've just trended down because there's so many of them. Price charting, I don't know why it's going to the Kingdra card I have, but Pikachu 20-M-P. PSA 10, it's showing 198. Do you know the pop on this card already? Yeah, I mean, the BGS 10 Black Label, obviously expensive, but the population on it is something like 60,000 already. Also, man, I am a ghost because of that screen. Oh boy. But yeah, it has already surpassed. I didn't know about this card fairly recently, and having one of my Pikachu card being him going for a burger is really funny. I would like to point out I have 3. I bought 3 sealed in packs. They are brand new, straight into sleeves and top loaders. But yeah, definitely getting all 3 of these graded. Definitely getting this card graded. Probably grading these 4. Probably grading some of these. I know you can't see it that well, but like I said, I wasn't going to talk about the actual PSA submission I'm scheming up, but expect that to be happening soon too. Yeah, I expect this card and like the PSA 10s to continue to drop because there's just so many of them. But I think in the next like 3 to 5 years, it could be a decent buy. Got to get you that Ozbot cam, Mel Bullet Sarah have. Again, I'm rocking the $20 Amazon special. Look how grainy my finger is, and it's still like a foot away from the like screen. There's no autofocus. Look at the coloring on my hand. I've come close to buying a new camera several times, but then I remember Pokemon exist. So... oh well. Yeah, after we hunting Pokemon, I did go over to News and got dinner. I've heard so much about that Obsbot. I have as well. I know from Shawnee and from talking to Mel, and I haven't talked to Bullet a whole lot, but I've talked to a handful of people who have it, and they all seem to absolutely love it. And I feel like I need something. I have a handful of other Elgato products. I was kind of looking at like one of their face cams, but I know Elgato has a habit of like whatever you're using just completely shitting the bed and not working. So I don't know. The Meat 2 goes bonkers for the price. I think Nurse Huckleberry uses one, trying to get it to track my heads. Like I said, I know a handful of people use it, but Obsbot Meat 2. Amazon. 108. Or you can get the off-brand for 98. Nothing like the Mokos. Are we feeling it? Yeah, there's the Meat 2, which is a 4K. Or you could get the Meat SE for the best price to exist. Or you could get the Meat 2 with a little stand. Or the Tiny 2, which is the one on the gimbal. I've seen some people with this one, and if I walk around, it can follow me. But yeah. My Meat goes bonkers too for the price. Congrats on your new nickname, Shawnee. To be fair, you have a Price is Right scene. So if you're going to question why you're getting called the Price, think twice. But yeah, no. I got to eat News cooking. Can y'all believe it? I gotta go find the picture because, haha, there's only evidence of it on Discord. Which actually I did figure out. Open link. Okay. True. But yeah, I had messaged New like a week before TwitchCon and just was like verifying, like, when are you in town? I know you had said like you'd be willing to cook for me and like other friends. Like, is that still a thing? Like, any chance you could, make some dinner for me just one of the nights? And we planned, we schemed, we came to the conclusion: some spicy mac and cheese, steak, and steamed broccoli were going to be the move. Now you can see the phone, in fact, did not eat first. But, that was a delicious meal. The macaroni and cheese had bacon, onion, jalapeno, as well as like some other like little bits and pieces in there, but it was all great. Him and Neptune were joking that they were going to use shredded cheese in it, and they did not. But there was jokes that they were going to. And then we had like the steamed broccoli. It's literally just a top sirloin. Don't think it's some super fancy steak, but it was still magnificent, especially because it was cooked by New, who has a cookbook. Don't let him not promote the cookbook. It does exist. Do not be fooled. The cookbook exists. And if you want a free version of it, the PDF is free. which makes it even harder to understand why the man never promotes his cookbook. He gives the PDF out for free. But that's very real. That's very much a thing. I got to have some new cooking, and then the jet lag caught up to me. I went back to my hotel and just crashed for the night. We did get badge pickup done at some point that day, which would have been before going over to News for dinner, after Pokemon card hunting. Either way, the reason I'm kind of skipping around and skipping ahead is for the exact reason of we need to get into the spicy bit of the weekend. But before the spicy bit of the weekend was my first day at Twitchcon, which I'll be honest, I didn't do a ton, just because the way timing worked on like the two things I really wanted to do that day, they just kind of perfectly spaced themselves out to like eat up like a decent chunk of the day, but like whatever. Because the first thing was the Bob Ross paint along, which Shawnee was supposed to go to, but he wasn't feeling well. He ate too much the night before and was just a little under the weather, so I went alone. And then they did not ship the Bob Ross paintings this year. Instead, they just slapped them in a box and said, good fucking luck getting these back to wherever you live. But I managed to do it. You'll notice it's still sealed. Has not been opened because it is an oil painting. And they were saying that it could take up to a week to dry. So I did this Friday, it's now Wednesday. In theory, it is still a bit wet to the touch. But obviously, we're going to have to open it. So in the world of should I open this or should I keep it sealed, we're popping this bad boy open, and then we're just going to stick it right up there so no one can see it. At least on stream. Obviously, people here will be able to see it, but it's at least out of reach of cats and people who might try too hard to touch it. So, without further ado, are we ready for the grand reveal? I have not seen this since it went in the box because I have not cut it open. I waited to do this on stream for the sake of doing this on stream, and I can see I have an ad starting in 4 minutes and 3 seconds, so I got to do this fairly quickly. Obviously, you know, cutting open some tape is not going to take that long, but the Bob Ross paint along this year was actually as much fun as the first, 2 times I did it. Oh, hang on, I missed a piece. One of the main things was it was in a slightly larger room than last year, so there were more people. I didn't have the best seat to be able to really see too well what was going on, but I was familiar of kind of some of the stuff they were talking about as they were ooh yeah, there's some paint. Honestly, like if you look on the box, you can see there is paint right here. But like looking at the painting, you can just barely tell. I don't think you guys will be able to see it, but I can at least see it. But like it was a slightly bigger room, and being in a slightly bigger room, I think they were trying too hard to wait for people. So we ended up rushing a little bit. So some of the details on here, I just kind of free-handed like after the fact. But that's my painting. I can hold this a little closer. You guys can get a nice gander. You can see like up here, a lot more detail. We get down to like down here, we were running out of time. So there's not as much detail as up here. Same thing for like, there's no clouds or anything. It's just a blue sky. All of this snow on the mountains and everything. We never actually did that as part of the paint along. I did that after the fact. That was the last thing I did while everyone else was starting to, go get in line to put their stuff in boxes. But like we lined up to put everything in boxes. They just handed us 4 push pins, slapped it in the box, and just went, okay, good luck. Don't know how you're getting this home, but Godspeed, soldier. And it just went in the box. Which I guess in hindsight, I should have thought a little harder about where I put the push pins and lined it up to be where the box was going to go. Like if I had them, let me adjust my grip. Like if I had the push pin like right here so that this flap wouldn't fold down. Because like I said, I don't think you guys can really see on here. Am I getting Yeah, I'm literally getting wet paint on my fingers. Either way. I don't think you can really see, but like there's kind of a faint line kind of right here of where the box hit the painting. But like if I don't point that out, it looks very natural. Almost like that's just part of the design of the paint. So like I'm not upset. But I think it turned out great. That said, I will properly set this up there probably tomorrow. Mostly because I don't want to do it right now. Actually, I mean, I could pull down the other ones from last year if you guys want to see those. If you want a reminder. Let me just do that. We're just, you know, we're choosing what we're doing live. Welcome to a live stream with me. I never know what the fuck I'm doing. Either way. Ugh. So, I also got to remember not to sit in that chair because it's got my other painting in it. Ugh. Last year, I did 2 paint-alongs. So the first paint-along I did was this one, which I was never super happy with the way the cloud turned out, but I had never done a Bob Ross paint-along or painted since I was like in elementary school. So I can't complain too much about how this turned out. I think it actually looks pretty good. And then the next day, I did it again because it was just so much fun. Had to do it twice. And then we did a waterfall scene that time, which I think this one turned out significantly better. But very cool. I now have 3 Bob Ross style paintings that I did myself. The crazy part is I didn't like scratch my initials or anything into this one. Whereas this one, you can't even see it, but there's a BSC down there. Yeah. I'm very happy with the way these turned out, especially that one, the new one. Ugh. Also, not me on my knees for y'all. Yeah, again, one final time before I shove it up onto the shelf. Yeah. Ta-da! Yeah. Let's get this back out of the box. Come here. Luckily with the push pins, I can just pick it up like that. I'm gonna stick this right up here. My family will eventually notice it and probably make comments about me as a painter. But so be it. And then I'll put the one I like a little more also up here, and then we're out of room, so. Yeah, I need to just get like some hangers or hangers, like some 3M hooks, and just line the paintings over there. But for now, they're just gonna be over here. And this one I'm just gonna set on the floor for now until I figure out where exactly it fits. Ugh. Do it. Have them back here. I need to figure out how to point because the camera's mirrored. It's weird. But I could put them over here. The way the door opens, it does come like into the room, but it never actually hits that wall, so I don't have to worry too much about them like getting knocked around. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. I can have my own Bob Ross paintings just over my shoulder while I'm sitting here on stream. I know my chair would kind of end up blocking them, but it's fine. Yeah, I did that in the morning. That finished like, that was like 11:30 to 1. And then at 2, it ended up going a little long. By the time I finally got out of that room, it was like 1:30. And then at like 2, there was the indie game meetup. So I went over there to run into people I knew and chat with them and say hi. And I still haven't checked the pictures online from that, but I guarantee you, if you go and you look at that, the indie games community meetup, you're gonna see me standing there with a box, like not knowing what to do with it, because like I wanted to keep it like laying flat, and it's a whole thing. Russ, welcome in, welcome back. You like the hair? But yeah, Russ, I was in your turf. I was on your turf. I was at the airport. Where were you at? Yeah, I know. We're back. We got the short hair again. You missed my Bob Ross painting. I just put it up on the shelf. So instead, you're gonna have to look at my old one. Yeah, I was showing off my new Bob Ross painting. This is the old one, but it was a lot of fun to do. I will post. I still need to do like an actual Instagram post for TwitchCon. The problem is I don't have a whole lot of pictures from TwitchCon, which we're getting to the reason why. Bear with me. I know I keep saying we're getting to the reason why, but we're actually going to get to the reason why. That's clean. The painting. How have you been? How's the merch coming? We're getting there. We're getting there as well. The plan was it was going to launch Friday, but... Do you need something, Cat? Now I got to get the painting off the ground because I know you. I know how you work. Enjoy the box and the bubble wrap, you fool. Ugh. But yeah, the original plan was to launch the merch website on the last day of TwitchCon, but I ended up not doing that because there was a whole slew of other shit going on. So I'm gonna have to refigure out what day that's gonna be. It's gonna be soon, mostly because I have some expenses. But thank you for the 13 biddies. Does that mean we got 13 babies now? Boulder, would you like to come say hi, or are you going to try to eat the tape on the box? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm picking you up anyway. Ugh. Missed the store. I'm not even in that store anymore. I got moved. Calm down. Say hi to everyone. No? You'd rather go back to the box? Yeah, no, I got moved. I'm now traveling. I'm in a bunch of different stores. Kitty, yeah, that's Boulder. He's trying to eat the tape on the box from the Bob Ross painting. He's not, like, in the box. I remember you telling us about being moved. No. This was, like, it happened again. Before, I was kind of switching between two stores, and then I became the GM of the one store. And then I was GM for over a year, and now there's... a new person took over as that GM, and I'm now kind of a traveling assistant manager for all of the stores because the owner is going to be opening a new store, and the current GM of the main store is going to go be the GM of that store, and I'm going to take over at the main store, and it's a whole mess. I can talk to you off stream when I can be more specific about what's going on, but yeah, it's been a thing. What are you staring at? Anyway, man, I did the indie, so you're just being patient. Yeah, patient. I'm giving him like a month and a half, and then I'm going to decide if it's even worth staying. Because I'm not a fan of just getting pushed around and being told, like, hey, you're doing this now. Like, fuck everything you've worked for. We're taking it away from you. We're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to the crabby old lady who nearly drove, like, multiple stores into the ground and... had done nothing but habitually lie about who she is and who other people are just so that she can look better. Yeah, she's now running my store. But like I said, it's a mess. I can talk to you off stream and be more specific with everything going on. But yeah. I did the indie meetup. I do have like a couple pictures from the indie meetup and like getting to see people, but I need to go and check online for the actual pictures. And then after the indie meetup, I caught back up with Shawnee to give him the stuff that I had kept in the room. He told me about Look at All That Juices, like community meetup, juice bar meetup that was going to happen that evening. And I was like, oh yeah, I can come stop by. So I hung out in my room for a little bit and then went over to that. Which that was a ton of fun. I probably had more than I should have to drink that night, but whatever. Got back to my hotel room, no big deal. The next morning, I got up to go visit some friends at their Airbnb. I'm not going to dox who they are because this is where the story takes a twist, and I don't want to I don't want people to assume that they were the ones at fault. I promise you they were not. However, I know how stories can twist, so I'm not even going to say who it was. But I went to go visit some friends. I'm not going to say the number, who, any of that. Very quickly, like, saw them in the morning while they were, like, getting ready and, like, getting ready for their day. And then I went to walk back to my hotel room. When I was walking back to my hotel, out of the backpack I was carrying with me, I had my phone, wallet, and glasses pickpocketed out of my bag. So I get back to my hotel, and I go to grab my wallet so that I can get the hotel, like, room key to be able to, like, hit the elevator and go up to my room. It's not in my bag. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I must have forgotten my wallet. Let me quickly message, like, the people I was just with, like, hey, like, I think I forgot my wallet at your place. Could you look for it? It's a brown trifold wallet. It's gonna have my ID and a whole bunch of shit that identifies who I am. Like, you'll know it's mine. Realize I can't find my phone either. And I'm like, that's weird. So at this point, I'm like, let me just get my glasses on. I'll figure out, like, where the stuff is. I know it's in my bag somewhere. Surely it's in my bag. Otherwise, I just forgot everything. Can't find my glasses either. And I'm like, how did I manage to forget all of this stuff? Because I had sunglasses on. I didn't have my actual glasses on. So then I go up to the front desk and I'm like, hey, I think I lost my room key. It was in my wallet. I think I lost my wallet. Is there any way I could just get, like, a replacement room key so I can get up to my room and try to message, like, people off of my computer and see if, like, I left it at their place? So they asked me a couple questions about, like, my, like, what's the name on the reservation? Like, what room are you? What's the name on the reservation? What's the, like, brand of credit card used to book the room? Like, last 4 digits of the card. What's the address, like, the billing address for the room? So I was able to answer all those questions because it was my room. It was me. So I answered the questions like, okay, you at least know enough information that we're going to believe you are who you say you are. They give me a new, like, card. I get up to my room. I send a message. 2 hours later, like, the people I was with still can't find my phone, still can't find my wallet, still can't find my glasses. And I was like, okay, let me try looking online with, like, find my, like, friends to see if I can figure out where my wallet is or where my phone is. Cause that I can see on, like, Find My. So I go to look online. My phone is, like, 7 miles from the convention center and the hotel that I'm staying at. I never made it 7 miles from the convention center, which means my phone managed to travel that far in someone else's hands or pocket. So phone is gone, wallet's gone, glasses are gone. At this point, I know someone else has them and they're being moved around. So then I grab my iPad. I start, like, trying to look in my email for, like, am I getting emails saying, like, hey, your card's being used? Was this you? Yes, I did have those emails. Plus, because I had my iPad signed in to my, like, American Express account, I get, like, the Apple Wallet, like, whatever notifications of the card being used. And I start seeing transactions flip by. And I'm like, well, fuck, okay. Wallet is definitely stolen, not just I left it somewhere. So I have to now lock both debit cards, both credit cards. The catch is, I don't have all of my banking apps installed and signed in on my iPad. So I have to try to do it online through my laptop, which I also have not signed into, like, most of these accounts before on that device. So it's an unrecognized device to the account. So it's like, oh, here, let us text you a 4-digit code so that you can verify your identity. It's 2-factor authenticating me when I don't have the phone to be able to pass the 2-factor authentication. I cannot lock my cards because I cannot pass 2-factor authentication because my phone was stolen with my wallet. So, Shawnee, I assume you're still vaguely listening in. Do you remember, like, a month ago when I was ranting about the fact that I hate 2-factor authentication? This is why. Because of 2-factor authentication, I couldn't lock my bank accounts and my credit cards. Like, I couldn't lock my debit cards, couldn't lock my credit cards. And the people who stole my wallet were able to spend almost $600 across all 4 cards. Plus, there was like $120 in cash in that wallet. Which means they spent well more over like $700 of my money in like a 2-day span until I could get into the accounts and lock the cards. But again, I didn't have a phone to be able to do two-factor authentication, so I am trying to sign into these accounts in ways that like they wouldn't two-factor me, or the two-factor would go through my email. Did you ever get your money back? This was this past weekend. So I've reported all of the like fraudulent transactions. All the various companies are doing their own like, you know, fraud investigation, whatever, but like it's gonna line up with like, hey, like it's weird that this person would go and spend, you know, would go and do like 6 different transactions at the same 7-Eleven. And again, all of the transactions happen within like a 12-hour period. So, yeah. That's currently being investigated by my credit companies and my banks. But yeah. So, obviously with the bank ones, they're not able to just like freely give me my money back right away, but they are like looking into stuff and everything, and I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. We survive. But yeah, so now I'm sitting here thinking, damn, this means I don't have my driver's license. This means I don't have credit cards. This means I don't have cash. I don't have my Costco card. My health insurance card was in my wallet because I was traveling, and I was like, I should have my health insurance card with me. Which, to be clear, this is not like an HSA card, like a credit card. It's like the, hey, like, here's my insurance information card. But I was like, damn, that's missing. Costco card's missing. Both debit cards, both credit cards are missing. Cash is missing. My old student ID, which, like, whatever, if that's gone. My dive like certification license is now gone, which I just have to ask for a new one of those. I think it's like a $10 fee, whatever. Plus I have it online. Most companies are just going to look like they just want the certification number off the card. They don't necessarily need to see the actual card, so whatever. But yeah, driver's license gone. I lost a couple other like small gift cards and coupons and stuff, which like no big deal again. But that also meant all of the little like stickers and like cards and everything for like everyone I've been meeting to be able to like follow them on their social medias, also gone. So the ones that I had already like taken out of my wallet, or like taken out of like, I didn't have like the little case that I was carrying my cards and like the stickers I was receiving in, but like all of the ones that were in my wallet from like the night before and that morning, gone. So that kind of sucks. And then I had to figure out if I'm even going to be able to get home. Which I had my passport. I still had my car keys, which like I didn't have my car, but like at least I still had my car keys. But because I had my passport, I knew I'd be able to get through TSA at the airport. And I was like, okay. So if I can get to the airport, I should be able to get onto my flight. The question is, am I going to be able to eat for the next couple days? Am I going to be able to get access back to my cards? Because I don't have money for food. I don't have money for anything. And then I also don't know how I'm going to be able to get to the airport, because if all of my cards and bank accounts are now locked because of the fraudulent transactions, and I'm getting emails saying, hey, was this you? And I'm clicking no. And they're like, we're going to lock your card. We're going to send you a new one. And I'm like, cool. Turns out they actually didn't lock the cards, and they didn't do the thing to send me a new one. I had to call, which I had to wait until I had a phone to be able to do that, but whatever. We're getting there. So I'm like, okay. I don't know how I'm going to be able to buy food. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get to the airport. I don't know how I'm going to be able to, like, anything. So I sent like a few messages in like primarily the DGen Lounge, which is Shawnee and his community's Discord server, because that's where the most people I knew in San Diego were like active and chatting, without like creating a group chat or anything, or trying to join a Discord server to immediately complain that I lost my wallet and have no money. So sent a few messages, and yes. All right. Yeah, so I'm like, okay. Sent a few messages just being like, if you guys wouldn't mind, like, I can pay you back, but like, if someone like is cool with buying me a meal once I like regain access to my money, I can give it, like, I can pay you back. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, pull a fast one on anyone. I'm not trying to, you know, ask for free handouts. Just, can I, oh my God, you're already trying to leave. Why did you come in here then? Stupid cat. Yeah, so luckily between Shawnee and Mel, Mel saw the messages first. Shawnee woke up later because Mel was still on the East Coast. They talked. Shawnee ended up giving me, thank you for the 37 bits now, too. It goes a long way, considering the fact I had to buy a phone. Because obviously, I don't have insurance on a phone for theft, but yeah. Of course, the Throne wish list message pops up right now. Yeah, no. Mel and Shawnee talked to each other and agreed that Shawnee was going to go find an ATM, take out like just enough money for me to be able to buy myself food and everything. What phone did you get? It is an iPhone 15. Not a Pro, not a Pro Max, just an iPhone 15. Because that is the only one they had in stock in the store. Apparently the 17 is on back order for like the next month. The 16 is sold out because they were running some promotion for like new customers, so there's no 16s either. The only thing they had was an iPhone 15. And I kind of needed something. Which, like, whatever. It works. It's fine. To be fair, I'm coming from a 14, so it's still a newer phone than the one I had, which, not a big deal. But yeah, so Neptune, welcome in. But, you know, yeah, Neptune, you got cooked in San Diego as well. I'm glad to hear you got home safely. I hope you got some good rest last night as well, and just you're able to catch up, and the jet lag isn't too bad. It took me, not even kidding, like a day and a half to feel normal again. I don't know if you can see the bags under my eyes. I'm still not 100%, but I figured I had to go live. I had to say hello to everyone. I had to, you know, enjoy the party. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, do you like my iPhone 15 with no case? Because I don't... Well, okay, I have a little bit of money left from what Shawnee gave me. Y'all were too turned. I was sober. I was stone... Okay, I'm not going to say stone cold sober because I did drink the night before, so I guess technically I could have been, you know, above a 0, but for the most part, I was sober. I assume it was just someone kind of bumped into me, someone else, you know, while the, you know, backpack was being jostled and I was kind of getting bumped around. Someone just reached in and just scooped everything out of that pocket and ran. But yeah. Grand old time. But Shawnee found an ATM, took out like enough cash for me to be able to eat for like the next few days and, you know, sent me on my way. And like, as he was handing it to me, I was like, I will pay you back for this. And he's like, it's already out of he's like, as far as I'm concerned, it's already out of the account. It's gone through the ATM. It's out of the account. Don't even worry about it. So I'm going to have to find a way to get that man his money back. He's not going to want to accept it, but I'm going to have to find a way to do it. Don't be fooled. No matter how nice he claims he was, I'm going to find a way to be nice back. The fact they stole your glasses too, I believe the reason they took the glasses is because the case that the glasses were in said Calvin Klein on them. So as they were kind of like grabbing stuff out of the pocket, they saw the Calvin Klein and just went, "Oh, these are probably worth money," and like assumed they were like sunglasses or something that they'd be able to sell. No, they were normal glasses. They weren't even Calvin Klein glasses. The Calvin Klein glasses are long gone. Those have been broken, thrown away. They're gone. but because the little like clamshell case was nice, I held on to that, and I've been using it for sunglasses. But because I was wearing the sunglasses, I put the normal glasses in the case. Either way, yeah, bunch of idiots. Yeah, thieves. They're not. You got to be pretty stupid to be a thief in 2025, but also you got to be pretty stupid to get pickpocketed in 2025. So I don't have a lot of room to talk, but at the same time, yeah. Luckily, because I changed my health insurance in January, I am able to go to the eye doctors and get like an eye exam and get like a free pair of glasses. So I just need to schedule that. But I'll be able to get glasses again. My vision isn't that bad. Like, if you'll notice, I'm reading about as poorly as I normally do on stream. So it's reading stuff that's farther away, which also reading off of screens without my glasses, I will slowly develop a headache. So don't expect this stream to go too long. I intentionally was going to keep it shorter anyway, because we're just doing story time and catching up with everyone. But yeah, that was my Saturday morning. So most of Saturday was me spent trying to figure out where my phone was, where my wallet was, where my glasses were. Can I lock my credit cards? Can I lock my debit cards? How am I going to be able to get home? By like that evening, I had accepted the fact that the phone and wallet were stolen. So I texted my mom through my iPad, and I was like, how would I go about getting a new phone? Mine was stolen. Which I didn't really think about it at the time, but I sent that message at like 10 p.m. Pacific. She was visiting my brother in Wisconsin, so she was in Central, so it was midnight. So she had already gone to bed, but she messaged me the next morning when she woke up. So then come Sunday, I had not eaten, for the most part, in close to 24 hours. I had only had water to drink, so I was getting the caffeine headache. I still had no money. I still had no phone. My mom and I were going back and forth. We had established that because I had my passport, I'd still be able to fly. I just had to verify that I could get to the airport. So I installed Uber like onto my iPad, like the app onto my iPad. I was looking at the different payment methods, and I saw PayPal was one of the accepted payment methods. So my mom PayPal'd me like just enough that I'd be able to cover the cost of the Uber. And I was like, okay, cool. So now I have in my PayPal balance, so it doesn't have to try and charge a card or go to like through a bank account. I can now get to the airport, assuming that I can actually book that. Mouthwashing from my Steam wish list is now on sale. Interesting. Sorry, got distracted. But I was like, at least I'll be able to get to the airport, assuming that I can, have an internet connection to book an Uber. And then it was like, okay, thanks to Shawnee, saying that he could get money for me as well, I'm going to be able to eat. I'm going to be able to drink water, non-alcoholic beverages. I felt so guilty spending that money that was given to me. And why is my elbow bleeding? What the hell? Damn, I can't even show that on stream because it's against TOS. I'm just going to put a napkin under my elbow and carry on with my stories. I felt so guilty accepting that money and being told you don't have to pay me back, and I've just felt guilty spending the money. So I still have most of it sitting in my room right now. Yeah, but Sunday rolls around. I have to actually meet up with Shawnee to be able to get the money. So I wanted to watch the Formula 1 race, which was at noon. So from noon to 2, I was watching the Formula 1 race. After the Formula 1 race ended, I messaged Shawnee and said hey, I'm going to go walk around the expo floor, because that's the one thing I haven't done yet at Twitchcon that I still want to do. So I'm going to go do that. Come find me on the expo floor at some point. This is what my outfit that I'm going to be wearing. I'm not taking my iPad. I'm not going to have any way of being able to get a hold of you. You're just going to have to come find me. So I go back to TwitchCon. I'm walking around the expo floor. And now, if you'd imagine, I'm pretty on a knife's edge from having my phone and wallet stolen and my glasses stolen, so I can't see super, super well. Like, again, stuff up close, I can see more or less just fine, but, like, stuff that's farther away. So I was having a hard time trying to look around through a crowd to see if I could spot anyone that I recognize. I was having a hard time trying to read signs that were, farther away, so I'd have to walk up, not super close, but I had to get, like, within, like, 10 to 15 feet. And, yeah. I felt so guilty about staying with New. I need to find a way to pay him back. He's going to refuse any money. New likely will, but yeah. New, like Shawnee, New is likely going to protest you trying to pay him back. So you're going to have to see if you can find like a dono link or something and drop it on him when he's not expecting it. Wait for like a birthday stream or like a charity stream and then just which is what I'm also planning on doing. Which I know Shawnee's birthday just passed and I don't think he's ever done a charity stream. But he'll likely do some kind of bigger stream and he's not going to think about it. And then I'm just going to surprise Shawty. Yeah. Either way. But yeah, I was walking around the expo floor, but because I was like already on a knife's edge with like anxiety and just like stress, I wasn't really enjoying myself. I was having a hard time like going up, like actually up to booths to like look at stuff and talk to people who were working the booths and everything. So I was just kind of hanging back and just like kind of like watching others interact with like the booth and the booth staff and just kind of watching what they were doing. And then out of nowhere, this very nice like girl comes up to me and just goes, hello, excuse me, I can't even tell you or remember, like I was so stressed with my own shit going on that like I know she said like what community company whatever she was with. And she's like, I'm with, so and so. Is it like my chat picked you out from the crowd to, win a prize? Like, is it okay if I ask you a few questions? You can spin a wheel and win a prize. And I was like, why not? Surely this can only end well. I've had such shit luck. Surely I'm going to get some good luck. And so I was like, yeah, like, not a problem. Like, sure. Like, where do you want me to stand? Like, do I got to look somewhere? So she kind of like steps like slightly farther away from the booth and like kind of like points over towards the camera, grabs a mic, like holds the microphone up to her and like verifies like they're good, like we're in frame. And there's like, all right, so like, why don't you tell us your name? And I'm like, oh, my name is Ban Shredded Cheese. And she's like, how are you enjoying TwitchCon? She asked, is this your first time at TwitchCon? And I was like, no, this is actually my second time. I was here last year. I had a ton of fun, wanted to come back. And she was like, and how's your TwitchCon experience this year? And I'm like, the con has been great. But I had my phone and wallet stolen from me the other day. So that kind of sucks. But it didn't happen here. It wasn't at the TwitchCon. The actual con has been, an amazing time. I've been having fun, hanging out with friends, getting to, check out the booths on the expo floor, hanging out with everyone. It's like the con itself has been fun. And she just goes, oh, well, here's our prize wheel, glad you're keeping your head up and like you're doing okay. And I was like, yeah. So I, obviously I'm not trying to like take up too much time and like I'm not trying to stand there and just like, so like I didn't really like stop to actually look at like what prizes were on this wheel. I was just told win a prize, like spin wheel, win prize. I was like, okay, haha, let's spin the wheel, give it the little like fata. Wheel spinning. It comes to a stop and I'm like looking at it. It says the word Catan. I won Settlers of Catan, like the board game, like a box. And this is no small box. I don't have it in here with me, but like for reference, it's roughly the size of my little Pokemon card case. In which case I can just shut this thing and show you guys roughly the size of it. So it's roughly this size. Oh, you didn't have to hand it to me. Thank you. That'd be my dad. I won Catan. Yeah. So I'm walking around like the convention center holding it like a cake because like one, I didn't realize it was like, well, okay, I had a feeling it was still like it was brand new, like sealed, whatever, but like I didn't want to like tip it up this direction and then just find out that like everything in the box like falls over or whatever. So I'm walking around with it like it's a birthday cake. A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't own Catan. No one in my family does. We don't actually have the game, so now we do. But my family, like my mom, dad, and probably my brother, is gonna end up playing this like in the next week or two, just so we can all have our fun little experience. I've played Catan once, so I'm vaguely aware of like how to play. My brother said he had played like 2 or 3 times, so he is also vaguely aware of the rules. My dad knows of the game. I don't think he's played a whole lot, and my mom like had like no idea what it was. But yeah. But I win Catan, and now I'm walking around the expo floor like stressed to high hell because I don't have a phone or a wallet. I'm trying to find Shawnee, who I cannot find on the expo floor because he was actually running around the entire convention center trying to find an ATM at the time. I'm walking laps in the expo hall trying to, find him or find anyone I recognize to be able to say like, hey, can you message Shawnee? He's supposed to be like looking for me right now. The only people I can find that I recognize are people working the booth for the Behemoth, which is like a game studio. They are a game company, which I met them last year at Twitchcon. Actually, hang on. Fun fact, I could just pull up their Instagram right now, live on stream. Haha, I typed in Instagram and it instantly went to the Japanese voice actor of Cynthia. This is also signed into the wrong account. Nope, we gotta switch. Messages. There it is. View profile. Can I? There we go. Yeah, if you guys do not know, but like the Behemoth, they're a game company that was at TwitchCon. I met them at TwitchCon last year. And then I happened to run into them again at PAX East. And I recognized one of the girls, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to find her in here, but I'm sure I could scroll back far enough. Oh, actually, that's her right there. But this looks like PAX East. Yep, PAX East. Yeah, anyway, I met them at TwitchCon last year. Went to PAX East, happened to run into them again, and I recognized this girl. Her name's Amanda. But I was like, and then I was walking around the expo floor again, happened to see Amanda working the Behemoth booth, and I was like, excuse me, and she's like, ban shredded cheese, and I was like, you know who I am at this point. That's good news. I was like, you are probably the only familiar face I have found on the expo floor. And then I was telling like her and the rest of the Behemoth employees who were working the booth like what was going on, and like why I'm just kind of roaming randomly, like unable to like talk to people. And I was like, I just needed a familiar face to like confide with. Did they show the rest of the booth? Where's the rest of the booth? They had a little stream set up as well. I almost signed up for it. There we go. Yeah, what they staple of their booth is they'll have a roll of paper and let people like draw stuff. So that was not me, but that was on the paper when I was standing there. But yeah, they had a little stream set up this year. They had like you could do like demos of games. Yeah, so I was like talking to them and I was like, yeah, my one friend's supposed to, be coming to find me on the expo floor so that he can, you know, hand off like some money so that I can eat. And then one of the other girl who's working, shoot, what was her name? I forget everyone's name, but I know Amanda's name because I've now seen her 3 times. But I was talking, like, and like the other girl was like, do you want a protein bar? Like, I have these for myself, but like, if you haven't eaten anything today, like, I can share one for you. And I was like, if you want, little crush, no, not like that. It's just, I've now met her 3 times, and every single time, like, she has a really bubbly, like, giggly personality. So like, it's pretty easy to remember who she is, especially because like, the first time I met her, it was like she like walked up to me at like the indie game meetup and was like, do you play, you know, whatever game? And I was like, no. She's like, do you want to? And then just hands me a Steam code. And I was like, thanks. Hands me a hat, it's like a Steam code on like a lanyard, hands me a hat, you know, tells me about the game, tells me about like the studio she works for. And then, you know, says like, oh yeah, you know, come stop by our booth. It's on the expo floor. It's whatever booth number. And I'm like, cool. And then when I was walking around PAX, I happened to see her. She was like actively working like the microphone on their like little like arcade setup. So I go up and I'm like, visually she looked familiar. I kind of recognized the voice, but like I stand in line and then like she was kind of like just audibly talking through like people checking out the game demos and everything. And she was asking like people like their names. So I go up to like play the game, and she's like, and what's your name? And I like holds the microphone over to me, and I just go, Band Shredded Cheese. And she goes, I've met you before, haven't I? Because I reckon like that's a familiar name to me. And I was like, yeah, we met at Twitchcon. So I ended up chatting with her a little bit there. And then this year I'm chatting with her again. One of the other girls who was working the booth gives me a protein bar. One of the guys who was there working the booth like literally takes $5 out of his wallet, and he's like, I know it's not much, but like, go get a bite to eat. And I'm like, you guys are so nice. I feel so bad. And then Amanda was like, what's the name of the person? Like, do you want us to try and like message them? And I was like, I mean, if you want to, I'm not gonna like ask for like a favor like that, but like if you want to, you can. So I help them, like I like tell them like what Shawnee's like Instagram username is, which is literally just Shawnee G Streams. If you guys aren't following him, do so. You had some nice people in your corner. I did, and I'm grateful because, like, honestly, without them, I probably would have either close to starved to death or just had one hell of a rough time in the process. And now ads are playing. But one of the, like, so, like, they message off of the Behemoth's, like, account. This Instagram account messages Shawnee just saying, hey, we have your friend Band Shredded Cheese. Like, he's at our booth right now. BRB ads. I know. I see it. I'll catch up. I was just kind of clicking a few options to get everything set up. Also, let me quickly move stuff. Well, everyone's stuck in ads anyway. Also, friendly reminder, because no one can hear me right now. If you subscribe, you don't have to watch ads, and then I also have money to be able to lose my phone and buy a new one. But let me quickly adjust and get stuff properly set down. While those ads play. No one's going to be able to... Nah. Keep that one for a bit? Keep what for a bit? The phone? Oh, no. That phone I'm going to be paying for the next 2 years. So, like, bear with me on that one. That said, I did have to spend, like, $500 on it, so... You coming in again? How long are you going to stay this time? Fool. Yeah, I mean, it's an iPhone 15. It was, like, $500 as opposed to, like, $1,100 for a brand new phone. Didn't you just buy it unlocked? I mean, I bought it at T-Mobile so that I could get my cell service on it, but yeah. Either way. Can I finish putting this stuff away now? Because there's stuff all over. Nope, you want to be let out instantly. Yeah, go hang out with your sister. Scoot your boot. And your tail. Idiot. Anyway. Yeah, I need to put this away. I see the ads have ended. I'm in the middle of trying to like rearrange stuff, so like bear with me for like 30 seconds. All right. I'm not letting you back in. You're stuck. Anyway, so I was thinking you were at home. I am at home. This is my house. I'm back home now. And then you bought it? Yeah, that's what I did. I had to fly home without a phone. And then buy the phone. But, yeah. But while I was still, like, at the Behemoth booth, they're messaging Shawnee. I need to ask for that screenshot. I'll do that after stream. But, it, like, they're like, hey, like, your friend, you know, Banshredded Cheese is at the booth. He said he's, like, looking for you. And he doesn't have his phone, so he can't reach out to, like, tell you where he is. He hasn't started crying yet, but he might, which was kind of a joke I said. And I was, like, laughing about it at the times. And she's like, you want me to say that, too? And I was like, if you want. So sent me another... If I could send a... You can... You're in my Discord, aren't you? Here. Okay, you are. Perfect. Just shoot me a DM later. Or I will respond to it later, but you can shoot me a DM of like what you are trying to say, and I can respond to it then. But yeah. So, like, they messaged Shawnee. I, you know, just continue hanging out with them, and then, like, I intentionally, like, would step kind of back when like other people would come up to the booth. That way they could, you know, talk about themselves and, you know, who they are and the games they make, and, you know, talk to creators, because that's what they're there for. I didn't want to, you know, take away from that. But then I ended up, like, just hanging around, and I'm like, I don't think he's gonna come find me right now. Could you just send him another message saying I'm going back to my hotel? He knows, like, what hotel I'm in. He'll just, you know, meet me there. That way I can message him and have, like, my technology and Wi-Fi again. So they send another message just saying, like, he's going back to his hotel. And then I ended up messaging them, like, thanks again for trying to help as best y'all could. And they replied earlier today, just, you know, hope you made it home, which I still need to reply to that, but I'll do that when you guys can't see what I'm saying. But I'm just going to say, like, yep, made it home, got a new phone. Shout out to you guys. Just showed off how great of a game company you and how wholesome you guys are as a game company and people overall. Definitely check out them and their games. Like, I even without, like, the past interaction this weekend, I still like the company. I still like the games they make. I know I haven't played them on stream, but that's because they're more like arcade, you know, sit and chill style games, in which case I don't play that kind of stuff on stream all the time, but still fun. So definitely check out the Behemoth if you're looking for, like, a fun, like, more lighthearted game to check out. But it was funny. It was kind of funny, the message that they sent, and Shawnee showed me the messages because I asked him, I'm like, did you get messaged off of the Behemoth's account? And he's like, yeah, that's why I was so confused when you said, like, they were trying to message me. But he ended up finding, like, in his, like, message requests, like, the message. It was kind of, like, it was funny. But either way, after that, I finally meet up with Shawnee. He gives me the money, which I kind of already talked about. Like, he gave me the money, and I'm like, I will, like, pay you back, like, the second I can. He's like, money's already out of my account. Like, don't even stress about it. Like, it's fine. Friends help friends. Don't worry about it. And I was like, you are too kind. Yeah. And then at that point, it was like Sunday evening, and I was like, I'm just going to have a chill night. I just want to sit in my room. I want to, like, pass out and just not think about this. I got to check out from my hotel at 11. My flight isn't until 3:40. So I got plenty of time to get from the hotel to the airport. And then once I get to the airport, I got plenty of time to be able to get myself through TSA and everything and make sure I'm going to be able to check in just fine. So I woke up Sunday morning, re-verified with my mom, like, my flight home is this time. I'm going to be landing around this time. Here's the flight number so you can track it online. I will do my best to be able to message you like at airports, because oftentimes the airport will have free Wi-Fi. I can get my iPad on, and then I can like quickly shoot you a message here and there just to like keep you up to date on my travels. So, we like have to verify like I'm gonna be landing at this terminal. When you go to pick me up, I'm going to be at this specific location at the arrivals area. That way she can find me, because she can't track my location. She can't message me if I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't see messages if I don't have Wi-Fi. So I get to the airport and like I book the Uber, and then I check out of my hotel room while the Uber was still like on its way to pick me up. I get picked up by the Uber. I'm like talking to the guy to, make conversation and just, be a person to him. And while I was chatting with him and like telling him about like the weekend I had and everything, and he's like, he was baffled by the fact that like I got pickpocketed, and I was like, yeah, I honestly, I think it was just the fact that I was near the convention center that just makes it like kind of a hot spot when there's that many people from out of town for, something like this to happen. Whatever, keep my head up, keep moving, we'll get through it. Drops me off at the airport. I then he drops me off like right in front of like the Delta like check-in for flights, and then I walk up to like check my bag. Now remember, I don't have a phone to be able to pull up my like flight confirmation and like show like I checked in early, and like here's the little QR code to be able to scan as like my boarding pass. I couldn't do any of that. So I literally walk up to the counter, and I'm just like, I hand him my passport, and I'm like, I have a flight to Detroit today. And he was like, okay, like takes the passport. He's like, do you have the boarding pass or the confirmation or whatever like on your phone? And I was like, funny story, don't have a phone. It was stolen. I also don't have my wallet because that was also stolen. So I don't have my ID or a card or anything. The bag is already paid for, and you have my passport. And he's like, not a problem. This is just a really old, and he's like, not a problem. Dude, I've been doing this for decades. This is a really old school way to fly. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately it's my only way, today. So he takes my passport, can, type into, the computer, the name, and he's like, all right, I have you on the Delta flight, whatever, like DL 20, whatever the flight number was, going to Detroit at this time. And I'm like, yep. And he's like, all right, we got your bag. We're going to, get the tag on it. Do you need a printed out boarding pass? And I was like, yes, because otherwise there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to pull up any kind of boarding pass on my iPad. I need a paper, printed out boarding pass. And he's like, not a problem at all. Prints out the boarding pass, hands me back the boarding pass and my passport, and goes, all right, you can just head this way to, TSA. It's going to be, through there, blah, blah, blah. I get through TSA, no issue. And then once I'm in the airport, I pull out my iPad, get signed on to the Wi-Fi, and I message my mom. I'm like, I'm through TSA, have a printed out boarding pass, so I'll be able to make it onto my flight. The boarding pass doesn't say the gate number, but the guy working the counter to check my bag was nice enough to write what gate I was going to be at on the boarding pass, and tell me that he's like, you're going to be at gate 36. And she was like, all right, glad to know. You got 3 hours till your flight boards. Just, walk around, keep your mind busy, find something to eat. And I'm like, yeah, about to, take a lap around the airport, see what my food options are, and I'll decide what I'm eating, and I'll have a bite, get, some steps in, and, whatever. So I end up walking around the airport. There was a Jack in the Box, so I was like, I'm going to get Jack in the Box. Get Jack in the Box, and then I'm walking around looking for a place to sit down. I end up sitting down in the food court right in front of Qdoba. And I was like, man, I kind of want Qdoba, but I already bought Jack in the Box. I'm going to eat the Jack in the Box, see how hungry I still feel, because this is my first real meal in 2 days. So I eat my, ultimate bacon cheeseburger and fries, have my drink, and then I'm like, yep, nope, I'm still hungry. So I go and get a bowl from Qdoba and fuck up the whole bowl. I had 2 full meals in a span of about 45 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, my flight boards in 40 minutes. I'm going to walk over towards the gate. I walk over to the gate that was like written on my boarding pass which was gate 36. On one of the like TV screens, they're like flight DL, whatever the number was, to Detroit is now departing from gate 37. And I'm like, cool, that's one more that direction. Walk down there, get to the gate, no issue. I was there like 35 minutes before boarding, so I just plug in my iPad. I'm, messaging like a couple people through the Wi-Fi that I had. Hey, safely made it to the airport, got through TSA. I'm sitting at my gate. It boards in, 30 minutes. I can't promise I'll be able to message you guys when my flight lands, but I'll definitely, get a hold of everyone like once I'm home and say like, hey, I'm home. So I make it home. Like I get on the flight. Because it's a Delta flight, they have like the screens in the back of the seat. And I was like, cool. There's a chance I can watch the Lions game. Because I don't have anything installed or like down. This is going to be the 5th time I let you in. Are you going to stay? Are you going to hang out? Or are you going to want to leave in 35 seconds? Yes. Yeah. Let me guess, he's going straight for the door. You going out? Nope, you're just gonna rub on me? Okay, fine. I'm scooting in though. But yeah, so I'm on the flight. They gave me the, super cheapo, like little, aux cable, audio port headphones to be able to, watch entertainment on the, display on the back of the seat. The plane takes off literally 5 minutes before kickoff for the Lions game. So I was watching like the pregame while they were doing like all the like checks and everything. I ended up missing like most of the pregame show because they were doing the, welcome to Delta, here's how you buckle your seatbelt spiel. You ready to leave? Nope, you taking another lap? Okay. The plane so we take off right around kickoff. The plane lands at the 2-minute warning for the Lions game. So I've been sitting there watching the Lions game this entire time, like not even thinking about like the flight. The game ends as we are pulling into the gate. And I'm like, this was perfect timing. I could not have had a better flight home. I just got to, tip the seat back a little bit, watch the game, zone out, not think about anything. Oh, now you're ready to leave? Okay. Yeah, no, it was so perfect. It worked out so well. I had of everything that had gone wrong and everything that had been stressful, that flight was probably like the easiest part of the entire weekend. The most chill, most relaxed, just, sit back, watch a Lions game, which was brilliant to watch if you're a Lions fan. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, sorry, but get off the flight, which the gate we were at was at the far end of the terminal. If you're not familiar with like the Detroit airport's terminal, it is a mile long, which means I had a half-mile walk to the baggage claim. So I walk all the way to the baggage claim. I'm standing there. Bag comes out, grab it. I, step outside, get over to like where I told my mom I would meet her, sign into the Wi-Fi. And I was like, hey, just got my bag, still waiting for the bag, but I'm where I said we're going to pick up. Bag should be, coming down out of the conveyor belt, any minute now. And my mom's like, oh yeah, my arrival's 10 minutes from now. And I'm like, perfect. Bag comes out, I sit down, I wait maybe 10 minutes while sitting there. And then we got to the time that she said that she would be getting there, so I step out towards the curb, and I waited maybe another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. She pulls up, I get in the car, we go home. Quickly obviously we had the drive home. On the drive home, because we're going away from the airport, we got to go like from the airport through Detroit and back up. As we are doing the from the airport towards Detroit, we see like a couple cop cars with their lights on going the other direction, and then a convoy of like charter buses. And I'm like, that's Tampa Bay. That's the Tampa Bay like Buccaneers football team going towards the airport after having just lost their game. I just left the airport. That's kind of cool. You don't see that super often. You got to be right place, right time to happen to see that go by. But yeah, that was cool. Get home. My dad was like still awake, getting himself ready for bed. So he came downstairs and, said hi and, caught up a little bit. And I was telling him about the weekend and the phone and the wallet and everything. And then I get upstairs. I literally grabbed just enough stuff for me to like plug in iPad, charge watch. And then I just flop down in bed and I pass out. Hell yeah. That's right, Neptune. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like by the time you process what's happening, it happened. But it was still cool to see. I've also driven past the presidential convoy before. I was on the other side of the highway. I've seen that. That was cool. A lot more cops for that one, unsurprisingly. But yeah, I have seen that convoy pass by on the highway as well. Yeah, no. We got home. I want to say it was like a quarter after midnight. So like it was late. I flopped down in bed, pass out. I was asleep by like 12:30, 12:45. I did not wake up till 11:30 a.m. the next morning, which I intentionally, when I submitted my like time off request for this trip, I intentionally blocked off like the Tuesday, like the next day after getting home, because I learned the hard way last year. I do not handle jet lag well, especially when going forwards in time. My brain just has a really hard time adjusting. It takes like 2-3 days to get back into it. That's why I kind of mentioned like the bags under my eyes and how rough I look today. Still haven't fully recovered, but yeah, I wake up at 11:30 and then we're like, okay, like I head downstairs and I'm like, okay, let me sign up for like a appointment at the Secretary of State so we can go handle like the driver's license part first. So I book like an appointment for like 1:50 p.m. At this point, it's like whatever. First day back at work, we pull an 11-hour shift. It kind of what I had to do last year. Yeah, no, I had a shorter shift today, which like I would have been fine doing like a normal shift. But just the way the schedule worked out, one of my 2 short shifts this week was today. But yeah. So I sign up for the like Secretary of State like appointment to be able to like get a replacement license. We go to the Secretary of State, or before we went to the Secretary of State, I was looking online at like Best Buy, like T-Mobile, like trying to figure out like what phones are available for me to buy so that I can get a new phone. Best Buy had nothing for T-Mobile, which turns out Best Buy is no longer an authorized seller of T-Mobile products, but I didn't know that at the time. We learned that when we went to the T-Mobile store. Either way. But we're looking online and we're like, well, we don't have time to be able to like go to places and ask like, hey, like what phones do you have? Because when I'm looking online, it's not showing inventory. Everywhere just says like contact store for like availability. So I'm like, okay. So like whatever, we'll just go to the Secretary of State appointment first, get the new license, and we'll worry about the rest another time. Like afterwards in the evening, we can handle that, especially because my mom had to be to the gym and everything. So we go to the Secretary of State. I go to like get like signed in for like, hey, I have an appointment. It's at 1:50. This is my name, and they just go, mm-hmm. Clack, clack, clack. It says your appointment is for tomorrow. And I was like, no, I signed up for the appointment today at this location because I could get it today. And she's like, do you have the confirmation code like on your phone? And I'm like, funny story, don't have a phone. Also why I'm trying to replace my license. So she like kind of like waves me around to like look at the screen, and she's like showing me, it's like, it says you signed up at this time for, this date, this time. And I was like, okay. I guess somewhere in the process of me booking the appointment, it ticked over to the next day without me noticing, and I made a mistake. I am sleep deprived, stressed out. I made a mistake. My apologies. No hard feelings. Not blaming you. We'll leave. So we get back to the car, and my mom and I are like, well, we got enough time to go stop by T-Mobile and just, see if they have a phone that I could go pick up. So we go to T-Mobile. We go in, and I was like, we had to wait like a few minutes for, one of the employees to be able to help us. And he was like, what are you looking to do today? And I was like, I need a new phone. I was looking at like, I need to get a new iPhone. The one I had was stolen. My mom has already reported it as lost, like through T-Mobile's like online website. So we just need to get like a new phone, get that one set up. And the guy's like, if you're looking for an iPhone like 17, like they're on back order for another month. You're going to have to wait. And I was like, I don't want to wait a month. I need a phone today. What do you have today? And he's like, well, a lot of the new phones we have, everything's kind of, better. I'm like, no. I lost my phone. I do not have a phone. I need a phone. What do you have today? And he's like, all right, let me go look. So once he kind of like understands the situation, I like explain it a little bit better. He's like, let me go see what we have. Like walks into the back, comes back out and goes, I have an iPhone 15. It's black, 128 gigabytes. You cool with that? And I was like, why not? It will work. It will be a phone. We will make it, we will make do. So we get the phone like activated, go home. Now, because I can finally use my phone number again, I can finally sign into all of my accounts. Because I can finally pass a two-factor authentication days after my phone gets stolen from me and my cards get stolen from me. So then last night, which I was make do. Wait. You transferred? I transferred the number. I wasn't able to transfer any of the data because I didn't have the old phone. But like the actual... Yeah. We locked the number like right away. But like I couldn't transfer data over because I didn't have the old phone, but I was able to transfer the number over because that's just a phone number. So we transferred the number over to the new phone. I didn't have any of my like data, so I had to like completely redo all of my apps and everything, but whatever. I just went to the app store. You can see like all of the apps you've ever installed of like the apps you own. So I just scrolled through it, picked the ones I needed, and then moved on. And then started getting signed into all of my accounts. Finally, I'm able to get signed into my accounts, which means I'm finally able to start calling fraud departments and being like, hey, I need to report a fraudulent transaction. I need to report, 6 fraudulent transactions. I need to report 3 fraudulent transactions. So when I was originally planning to do this story time stream and tell everyone the story was last night, but I ended up on the phone and just stressed out and dealing with two-factor authentication all freaking afternoon and calling companies and having to deal with robo voices and just being like, could you please hand me like a person? I need a person who's able to help me. I don't care about your stupid AI voice recording that's going to listen to what I say and then try to offer help. I don't need that shit. I need a person who can help me. I know for a fact this is not something your like online chatbot can handle. Please, just give me a person. Stop asking me to type in numbers into my keypad so that you can try to figure out how to help me. Chatbot is annoying. Chatbot is good, and I appreciate like a working chatbot for quick questions and answers. But when you're talking about like reporting a fraudulent transaction and requesting a new card and everything, like you need a person to be able to do that for you. You're not going to be able to convince an AI to give you a new like credit card and new credit card number. I'm fully aware of that. So having to deal with trying to explain to AI over the phone, not even like a text where I can type and like fully explain, because I have very small windows that it's listening to my voice. It's so annoying. With serious things that won't work with AI. Exactly. Like I knew for a fact this was like, I need like an actual person. Not my bank having no customer service. Yep. But so... I was dealing with all that last night, which is why I wasn't able to do this storytime stream last night, but also I was developing a headache from having to deal with all that, and I was actually in like a pretty bad mood, and I was getting pretty snippy and like crabby. So I just ended up going to bed at like 10:30. Woke up today, went to work. I still feel tired. I still feel drained. I look a bit rough, especially when I get a little closer to... Jules, welcome in! You need a name explanation? What's wrong with my name? I'm Neptune's girlfriend. Yep. That, I remember now. You need a name explanation. What is there... What is unfamiliar with my name? There's no stuttering in my name. If you want the actual spiel, the story I always tell. Shredded cheese has a starch coating on it, which makes it taste worse. Freshly grated cheese is simply better. It just is. But, you know, I was gonna say, like, Jules, I recognize you from Shawnee's like stream. I forgot that you and Neptune were the couple, but I knew Neptune had a girlfriend who also was on Twitch. I just forgot that it was the name. But why make that your name? Because if you're not willing to die on a hill, and if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I decided this very niche specific hill is the hill I'm willing to die on. Also, this account was originally going to be my alt account so that I could hide from people I know, but then I ended up wanting to stream, and I also wanted to hide from people I know, so I started streaming from the alt account, and now the alt account is my main account, and my main account is now my alt account. But in terms of the actual story behind the username, yeah, that... Also, I would like to roast Neptune for a minute. This man has a bank account that doesn't have an actual person for customer service. Yeah, that's what he was saying. I mean, I have Ally, which like is primarily an online-only bank, in which case getting a hold of a real person is a very difficult task, which is part of the stress that I was having to deal with yesterday. It was the longest hold time I had to wait for of all 4 phone calls I had to make. It's a text bot. Yep. It always starts with a text bot through Ally. Ally is weird though, because like they have a chat bot, but the chat bot like straight up refuses to handle like fraudulent charges. You need new banks. I also have Chase. I have a Chase account and I have an Ally account. I have 2 banks. But yeah, so Ally is nice because you get higher interest rates on savings accounts. But Chase is nice because they have some of the best customer service, some of the best reputation in the banking world and all of that. Like, it's good to have a Chase bank account. And then it's also good to have like another like high yield savings account. So I have the 2. Chase is amazing. The only thing I don't like about Chase is they have really bad interest rates. Like my savings account interest rate is like 0.1%. Chase and Capital One, very good, very good, very good. I think I'll get murdered if I say otherwise. Do you work for Chase? Actually, no. Don't dox yourself. Don't dox yourself. My whole family does. Okay. I can't qualify for a Chase account. One day, Neptune. One day. We'll get you there. Don't worry about it, buddy. But yeah, no, Ally, like if you go to like click on a transaction and there's like a, you know, like I have a problem with this transaction, you click on that, just a little pop-up that like comes up and it's like, call this number. There's nothing you can actually do online to like report like a fraudulent transaction or dispute a charge. You have to call the number immediately. They immediately send you to the phone number, which I appreciate that. Honestly, I prefer that over clicking the, you know, oh, dispute this charge with this, do this, do that, deal with this, here's this. Oh, actually, you need to talk to a person. It's like, oh my God. At least at Chase, I can call someone. Chase, you can walk into a branch. You can just walk into a physical bank and be like, I have a problem. Can you help me? And they will. But yeah. Literally, they're everywhere. They are. Can't get my hotel money until 30 days. That's where I'm currently stuck at this point with all of the like disputing charges. It's like some of the accounts, it's like, oh, it'll take 10 days for us to do the investigation. Some are 14 days, some are 30 days. But yeah, like I said, I'll get the money back. That part will be fine. It's just annoying that I had to drop the money on a new phone. Also, getting my replacement license was $24. 30 days is seriously demonic. American Express is a 30-day review for the disputed charges as well. But if you're not near one... No, Jules, my issue in San Diego was I had no form of ID. Hi, Felix. I've been talking about how I had my phone and wallet and glasses stolen. But yeah, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about that. I made it back home. I got a brand new phone. And by brand new, I mean it's an iPhone 15. But yeah, no, it was cheap. It was like half the price of like a brand new phone. Like if I were to try to get like the iPhone 17, one, it was like back order for a month. And two, it was like $1,100. This was like $570. So yeah, I'm totally fine with dealing with this phone. But that shit. Oh no, it's whatever. But yeah, no, how are you doing? I saw you might be back streaming here real soon. I know you said you were going on break conveniently the week of TwitchCon and that you were going to be gone for a while. And then suddenly TwitchCon ends and suddenly you're coming back home. You're coming back. Thank you for the thank you for the 100 bits at this point. You're racking it up at this point, Russ. Apple is some BS. I like Apple because I have enough Apple products and Apple products actually do a good job of like communicating with each other and working together. I got the watch. I'm on my like 6th iPhone at this point. I have the iPad. Like the only thing I don't have is AirPods. Ah, there it is. Russ, you finally get one of the Frosty Tools messages. Unfortunately, it's a very shit story, but we bought. Oh no, Felix, hold on. You're an actual artist, in which case I am going to grab this from up here. Are you a fan of Bob Ross? Because I did the Bob Ross paint along at TwitchCon. You guys want to see it? You guys want to see it? Boom. Boom. Izzy, welcome in. I'm showing off the Bob Ross painting again. I cooked. I did cook. And because you guys weren't here earlier when I was like pointing out where the box like kind of slightly touched the painting, can you tell? Be honest. Because this is oil-based paint, it takes like a week to dry. It is still wet to the touch. So like if I were to like try touching it right now, I will end up with paint on my fingers. Where's your glasses? Also stolen. I go for real now. Godspeed. Enjoy. But yeah. Can you guys see where the cardboard touched touched the painting in the process of me trying to get this back home? You got your glasses stolen? I got my glasses, my wallet, and my phone stolen in San Diego. I still need to schedule the eye appointment to go get new glasses, but I can read well enough to stream, so I just will develop a headache if I sit on my computer without my glasses for too long. But yeah. Smells like wet paint. Yeah, no, if you guys want to do a paint drying stream, we can just sit here and watch this for the next, like, 3-4 days. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of tuck it back up here, where it is safely out of reach of cats. Because I don't trust them. Why would someone steal someone else's glasses? They were in, like, a little, like, clamshell case that said, like, Calvin Klein on them, so I assumed they thought they were getting, like, nice sunglasses or something, but yeah, I can't explain it. Yeah, they were, the case was Calvin Klein. The actual glasses I had were Columbia. But because I used to have Calvin Klein, like, prescription glasses, I had the little clamshell case, and I liked that case. It was a bit larger, and yeah, whatever. Either way, fanny pack next year. No, Neptune, I meant to bring like a little like shoulder bag fanny pack. I just forgot it. Which meant I had to either use my big backpack that was never going to make it into TwitchCon itself. They were going to bag check me. Or I had to use the little like tote like bag that they gave us when we got our like badge pickup done. Imagine their disappointment. Yeah. Yeah, because they were, like, the glasses themselves were a little scratched up. They were getting older. They were not Calvin Klein. They were not sunglasses. They probably opened that bad boy and realized they got fucking scammed. Fuck you. Ha ha. Enjoy my glasses, bitch. But yeah, I need to schedule an eye appointment anyway.
You got debated. You got debated. You got debated.
I'm not going to be able to hear for the next, like, minute. But they did get debated, so... Yeah. My assumption is they just saw the glasses case and yoinked that with everything else because they were trying to be quick. But yeah. So as of right now, my wallet is whatever I feel like shoving into my pockets. My phone is a completely uncased iPhone 15 that I got yesterday that I now need to buy a case for. But I haven't yet because I don't have any of my debit or credit cards because all those are in the mail to be sent to me. I believe the Chase debit card is going to be the first one to get here. When I was talking with American Express, they said any company that already has my card on file for like subscription or like reoccurring purchases, that stuff will still go through. So I don't have to worry about like my Crunchyroll suddenly not working because the transaction can't process. But Drew 2, thank you for following. Welcome in. How you doing today? Also, if you don't feel like chatting, you do not have to, but I do appreciate you for following. But yeah. Nice meeting you at the con. Welcome to the party. I've been telling the story of how horrendously the back half of my con went and how I had my phone and wallet and glasses stolen while also showing off all the fun stuff from the con. But yeah, welcome in. I will give you a follow back as well right now. Boop. There we go. I got you. What's the rarest card you have? Rarest. I hate when my stuff gets stolen. Yeah, do you know how stressful it is to not have like my wallet? Like I had no wallet, which meant I had no credit cards. I had to lock all of my bank accounts. I had to lock all of my credit cards. I did not have a phone to be able to two-factor authentication into anything, and ads are now playing, so everyone's stuck. I've never been stolen from. I have before. It's whatever. Also, Sakura wants me to play Bongo Cat with her, so let me get this bad boy opened up. Also, if none of y'all have Bongo Cat, like, you're missing out. Why my Bongo Cat a ghost? You guys, like, only half loaded in. That's weird. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we're good. I will look at what cards I have. I've been meaning to get... It's free. But yeah. Neptune might still be stuck in ads, but I have the whole case with me right now, so... Ugh. Close that little pop-up. But yeah. Allow me to pop this bad boy open, where we got lots of stuff. Just have to get around to downloading it. Yeah, that was my issue too for like a week, was just remembering to download it. Let's see. Do we want my least rare card to start? Or do we want my... Because I'll be honest, in terms of like pop size, I know which one is technically... Why am I not in ads? The Twitch guys have favored you today. Yeah, I mean, in terms of population size, I know which one is the lowest. in terms of like which one's the oldest. I know that as well. So like Neptune, what are we technically considering as rarest? Because I have all the slabs literally right here. So what are we considering as rarest? Because lowest population size is definitely going to be a PSA 6 Charmeleon Delta species. Its population is like 15, or maybe it was 50. Either way, it's less than 100. But that's because it's PSA 6. The Charmander Delta species is also a very low pop as well, but that's, again, what the fuck? Oh yeah, no. I got the Charmander, and then the Charmeleon, and then the Charizard Delta species. I did those sequentially. So if we're talking like lowest pop, these two take the cake. You could combine their population together, and I believe it is still under 200. Also, thank you for the hydrate. But if we're talking about like one of the rarest ones I have a PSA 10 Victini promo. That one is simply rare because not many of them have actually graded as 10s yet. But it's not necessarily the most valuable, and there's going to be a bunch more PSA 10s coming up here real soon. I have the Bumblebee Pikachu, which is the WotC in a PSA 10. That one's pretty rare, just because it's from, 1999. And then obviously there's the newest, which is the signed Cynthia's Ambition. That is rare because of the fact that it is signed. What's the most expensive? Unfortunately, it's still the Bubble Mew, despite the fact I got scammed and it's a PSA 8. I never really understand card collecting and leveling. This is interesting. Yeah, I mean, all these are graded, in which case that's like one thing. I just happen to have the case down here today, so I can actually show off stuff. Yeah, now this is the most expensive one I have in my possession right now, but I feel like it should be a 9 or a 10, in which case it should be worth even more. But yeah, another rare card I have is a base set 2, like Charizard in a CGC 8. I got this bad boy, which is pretty cool. That one's always fun. If we're talking non-graded, I have all that stuff as well. I have a question I may have asked before, but have you played Little Nightmares 1 and 2? I have not played any of the Little Nightmares. I have seen other people play parts of them, so I'm already vaguely aware of like Little Nightmares and the stuff associated. So the rainbow on it means it's a high card? What do you mean by the rainbow? Like the color of the card? I mean, there's nothing specifically that denotes one card being like more expensive than another. It's all like supply and demand. The glare is because they're all like encased in glass. But like this is technically the second most expensive card I own. This one's not graded. It's just in, they just came out with a third one. I do know there's a third one. I know Wuna Tuna has been playing the third one with another friend. So, yeah, this is the second most valuable card I own. Which this one, the centering's pretty bad, in which case I'm not going to bother grading it, but I could grade it for the sake of getting it graded, in which case it'll just be in the slab, but it's not going to grade super, super high because of the quality. They came out with Little Nightmares. Yeah, Little Nightmares 3 came out. It's been out for 2 weeks now? 3 weeks now? I've got... This binder, this red one, is a top loader binder, so it's got the personal collection in there. You're not really going to be able to see much because of the glare, but it's gotta hurt getting. Yeah, no, Shawnee, I was saying I want to go and do like a big submission myself. In which case, I'm gonna have to flip through like the entire personal collection and pick which ones I'm grading. I'm definitely doing all 3 of the like McDonald's burger chews, as well as this Dark Dragonite. Don't turn off on me because it's Wednesday at 10:15. Hang on, I gotta turn on a light now. I got darker. Hang on. Sorry about that. My mom set up the one light on a smart switch to flip off in this room to remind us to take out the trash on Wednesdays. Yeah. The third one is made by a different company. I did not know that. I did know a third one came out, and it's like a 2-player game. So I know Wuna's been playing with another friend who wanted to play it, so... Yeah, I was thinking about doing like 10 to 15 cards graded. I want to go to my card shop that I normally go to and show them the Bubble Mew and ask them, is it worth regrading? Try for that 9 or a 10. But I don't know. But definitely that front page with the 3 burger chews and the Dark Dragonite, because that card is minty clean. Like minty clean. Yeah, no, Shawnee Jules was here as well, questioning my name. Yeah, no, this Dark Dragonite Hollow from the original Team Rocket set. It's minty clean. Hang on, let me get it out of the top loader. I'm not taking it out of the penny sleeve, but like that bad boy's crispy. Look at the back corners. Crispy. Look at the centering on the back. Look at the centering on the front. If this thing grades well, it's not a first edition, but if this thing grades well, ooh, it's going to be so good. Oh, wait, hang on. But yeah, the top loader I have it in is like me trying to peel a sticker off of it from buying some other card at one point. So when you look at it like this, it's like, oh, that's really cool. And then you flip it over and you're like, bro, what's wrong with your card? And I'm like, it's not the card, it's the top loader, I swear. I've been playing the Dark Picture Anthology games, and now I know how you felt when the pause menu lady made you feel bad for killing. Yep. I don't know if I've ever played any of those games, but it was one of those things where it's like, why do you have to go and rub salt in the wound? But also, Shawnee, if you're here, could you send me the screenshot from like the behemoth messaging you? I still need that. Also, I don't know if I ever actually took the sip from the hydrate, so I'm either doubling down for you, or here's finally the hydrate. But thank you for that. Yeah, I want to do a PSA submission soon. I'm probably going to wait till next month to submit some cards. I also want to go through my binders and figure out everything. I killed everyone but one person, and then in the next game, the curator was like, you killed almost everyone. Were you even trying? Yep. Like I said, they're carelessly rubbing salt in the wound for the sake of it. Which I appreciate game developers for like thinking that through and like intentionally having those dialogue options come up, but at the same time is like, it's like, damn, in DMs. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was just laughing because like, I don't know if you have met anyone from like the Behemoth team or if you talk to them in their booth. I still have this page pulled up. I can flip to this again. You guys are gonna see the bongo cats. So like all the bongo cats. There's Mel. That's Shawnee's girlfriend. But yeah, I messaged them and they like just replied back to me today. But like, if you guys are not familiar with the Behemoth, check them out. There's some great fun games. They did not make Pico Park, but that was them joking and making a game based on their characters. They're doing Pico Park with their characters. But yeah, now depending on the what am I thinking? The con that you go to, they sometimes have like arcade game setups for their games. So you can actually like play their games like arcade style. I asked them why they didn't have it at Twitchcon, and they said it's just the con itself does not condone that type of like whatever, and they said it was like too much of a hassle to get like that kind of thing into TwitchCon, so they didn't have it with them. But yeah, this girl, her name is Amanda. I've met her 3 times now. She was the one who was messaging you off of their account. She's the one who actually runs the social media account, I believe. But yeah. Like I said, I've met her a couple times at this point. She's super friendly, super kind. But the whole studio is super nice. They make some great like fun, cozy games. There's no way for me to skip forward, but this is the most recent game they released. It's called the Behemoth, based on their company logo and their name. It's kind of Flappy Bird style play, where you're just a big chicken collecting other chickens. You move, you flap, you go up, you go down, you try to avoid stuff that kills your chickens. That's the entire game. But yeah, definitely check them out if you are not familiar with them and you wanna find some games to play. Shout out to the Behemoth again. And every single convention they're at, they have like paper out, like as part of their booth. They lay out paper and you can like go up to the table and like draw and write stuff on their table. And then as the con goes on, they just keep sliding the paper over. So it's cool because you get to go and see all the people's like sketches and drawings. People shouting themselves out, drawing their profile pictures. It's cool. Definitely seek them out at conventions. Definitely check out their games. But yeah, I mean, now that we've gotten through the TwitchCon story, we've shown off the Pokemon cards, we've shown off the Bob Ross painting. Anything else? Anything else? I can show off the cards I pulled again. So, like I mentioned earlier, which it's easier to hold up the jumbo card. When Shawnee and I were going card hunting with Neptune and New, I bought the Pikachu and Zekrom like GX tag team like collection, which had Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, and Battle Styles in it. So that promo card, I also have the actual promo card. I'm likely going to send this in for grading. Just on the Hail Mary, it's a 10. But out of Battle Styles, I pulled a Mimikyu V. And then I also got, out of Evolving Skies, 2 V cards, which the center on them is cooked, but whatever. A hit from Evolving Skies is a hit from Evolving Skies. Plus, I also have like two or three other of the non-VMAX, non-alt-art cards from Evolving Skies at this point, so that's always cool. We got more Sleeping Pokemon. We got a bunch of bulk. We got cooked on Destined Rivals again. My mentality on Destined Rivals is like, it's not a good mentality. Do not get into the gambler's mindset. But I keep telling myself, every single time I'm in like a card shop and I see like Destined Rivals for a good price, I'm like, surely my luck cannot continue to be bad. Surely I'm due for a good hit out of Destined Rivals. And every single time, I get cooked. The most valuable like card out of Destined Rivals, the entire like 6 packs in the booster bundle I bought, was like 57 cents. It was a reverse holo. It wasn't even the EX that was in there. But whatever. It's fine. The real question is, what else we want to do tonight? Although I am starting to develop the headache from not wearing my glasses and sitting in front of these screens. So it will likely, or more than likely, be a bit of a wind down at this point. Just because I know myself, and I don't want to start doing I'm pushing myself. We're doing 4, 5, 6 hour streams, because whenever I do that, I just immediately burn myself out and lose motivation. Like I said, because I don't have my glasses on, my eyes are being strained a little more than normal, which also means that I'm going to start developing a headache if I sit here for too long. And I got through my story of Twitchcon and getting back home and getting a new phone and surviving. I got the new driver's license. I got that. Well, okay, I don't have the actual card, but I have the paper saying that the card's in the mail, and I do have a license, so that counts. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm out like almost $600 because I had to buy a new phone. But other than that, we ball. I also showed off the short hair, Izzy. I'm sure you noticed that, which I know you're on the Discord. You might have seen the pictures of it ahead of time, but yeah. But in other news, which is not super relevant, but also in the pipeline, I was originally going to unlock the website for Sabukaru Streetwear on the last day of TwitchCon, but due to everything else that was going on with me and trying to make sure I could get home, I ended up pausing that. I will likely open it at the end of the month. I gotta pick an exact date. I will have an announcement out, and if you're not following the website, like the social media account, it's Sabukaru Streetwear on Instagram. It does not exist on Twitter, TikTok, or any of that. But you can also just use Sabukaru in chat. I almost spelled it wrong, which is why I had to suddenly stop. But yeah, if you go to the website right now, it's going to show you the password protection page. You can get your email in there to sign up for the email list. I will be figuring out exactly when that's going to launch, but the initial money I make from that is just going to go back towards making sure I can cover the at least New cooked me an elite meal. I can show that off one final time as well, because obviously I still have that picture pulled up as well. But the plan is to get that launched, and the money from the initial sales on that is going to make sure I can actually afford this phone now that I had to buy the phone. And it will also go towards all the money I spent setting up the website and getting the website hosted and getting the website set up and getting the samples of the clothing. And then once all that costs are covered, I can start working on creating new designs and new updates for the clothing. And I want to continue to expand that and turn that into like something genuine. So make sure you're at least following me for updates and announcements regarding that. They'll likely be in the next week or two. I announce the date that the site will actually open, and then obviously when the site opens, there'll be more announcements. If you want to know a little secret towards the end of the year, I know I've never really been like public with my birthday, mostly because I don't know. I'm not like a big birthday person. I've never really enjoyed celebrating my own birthday. I've always just kind of felt like towards it, but I was thinking this year doing something a little different. So right at the very end of the calendar year, which is right when my birthday falls, I was thinking in between Christmas and New Year's Eve, doing like a birthday subathon and using all the money that I am able to raise from the subathon and me embarrassing myself on the internet. We can save up and earn a bunch of money to be able to spend over the next year, going to conventions, going to TwitchCon, spending the money on games, spending the money on stuff for stream, giveaways for stuff on stream, a whole bunch of stuff. So my birthday is the 30th of December. We will likely do a New Year's Eve like community night as well, which might coincide with Shawnee and the DGen Lounge doing a New Year's Eve community night. So make sure you're sticking around. Make sure you're following for all that information. Like I said, it's about 2 months out till we're going to be doing that. But in between Christmas and New Year's, when no one is up to anything and it feels like the world's on pause, I'll be here making a fool of myself on the internet while everyone wishes me a happy birthday and I have to live with it. But that's in the pipeline. Shaving my head is still going to be a thing for subathons. It's just not going from, titty length to bald. It's going from this to bald. But definitely want to make sure you're around for that as well. Let me look and see who is currently live, because I assume I'm going to be able to maybe find someone new. Of the people I met at TwitchCon that I have already followed back that are currently live, there is one. Do we want to go say hello over there? First play, Act 3, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Deaths Equal Money for Charity. This seems like it could be something worth going to. So, like I said, we got stuff in the pipeline. We got the clothing website dropping. We got a subathon right at the end of the year. We got a whole bunch of tomfoolery between now and then. I'm going to do my best to get back into streaming consistently now that summer's done and temperatures have dropped. I'm able to live stream without melting myself. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this raid. Like I said, as we move forward in life, we will be able to do more streaming, do more fun. I'll keep you all updated on the PSA submission as well. That will likely be in the Discord, which I'm about to do that full plug here in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and click start on this raid. We are going over to I stuttered over my words. Aman Ahmed. So that is now queued. Like I said, if you guys are not following me and you want to make sure you are following me to stay up to date on everything I was just talking about in the pipeline, you can go ahead and follow me here, or you can follow me on any of those social medias as well. I'm not particularly active on TikTok, but it does exist, as well as Instagram, YouTube. Instagram I tend to be most active on, same thing for Twitter. Check those out. If you do want to make sure you can have the most easy access to all of my updates, all of my news, all of my announcements, you can feel free to join the Discord. That is the easiest way to chat with me when I am not online and be able to hang out and know exactly what's going on. Then, if you are not subscribed to me and you want to be able to support me in this raid, you can go ahead and grab that raid message right there. Or if you are subscribed to me and you want to be able to use my own emotes, there's that raid message right there, which I will copy and paste so you can actually see what it looks like. Because obviously, Stream Elements is not subscribed to me either. There we go. Make sure you copy your raid messages. I will do my best to be back as soon as possible. I do not have a set schedule. I am just kind of streaming at a whim. But definitely stay on the lookout for when I'm live again. Peace! Likely later this week, though.